Dirhan, Dorko, 156 Roslyn Avenue, northwest of Canton, Ohio. And I'm calling here today about an MRDD house that I've been dealing with for the past 3 years that is nothing but problems. And first, I can stand here all night and go over all the problems, but I'm going to go over some of the majors. First, I want to address Mr. Scaglione and Mr. Reese, who said he apparently does not know that I tried to contact his office. I've actually been in his office trying to file charges against the Canton Police Department and against Mrs. Crystal Smith, who's unfortunately not here tonight, where I was under the impression that if you make a police report, you have to be at the scene in order to make a police report. Mrs. Smith was allowed to make a police report, and she also lied on this particular police report, which is a felony. I tried to go down to Mr. Reese's office. I was denied those 2 charges by his, I guess, assistant prosecutors or whatever they are. But I've been to his office 3 times in the last 3 years, and I was just told by Mr. Scaglione that he has no idea what's going on. So that's that. So now let's get into some of the problems that I've been dealing with this house. I've had residents on my property threatening my life. I've had residents on my property from this home stealing stuff from my property, causing property damage to my property, screaming and yelling on my property. And just recently, over the weekend, at 4 in the morning, I had one of the residents screaming on my property with 3 Canton police officers, cruisers, out in front, who tell me to go inside. This is none of my business. This is my personal property that these people are on. I have these people that are supposed to be taking care of the patients there that are smoking pot with the patients, that have brought underage children that live in this neighborhood into the house with alcohol. We have 2 residents living in this house currently that are both underage, 1 male and 1 female. How is this even possible? We have these residents screaming at neighbors, yelling at neighbors. I have employees call me racist, ignorant, yelling at me where I'm legally allowed to park because they don't want me to park there because it inconveniences them. As they sit out in their cars, instead of taking care of the residents, playing their music, talking with their friends, talking with other people, not taking care of the residents. But yet the police department, who I talked with lots of police are sick of dealing with these homes because they are not they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. The law. They are taking care of these residents, or these people that own these houses are supposed to be taking care of these residents. Can I add one last final thing? Under my opinion, Mrs. Reese is my ward member. She owns this house. I was under the impression that an elected official was not allowed to have any business dealing with anything that they can have influence over.
And what's the address of the house?
200 Roslyn, which has had over 300 police calls within the last 4 years.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dorko.